We get the orders from Moscow as well. Secret phone calls from pro-Russian rebels revealed in the investigation of the downing of MH17 that killed 298 people. Can't believe that was 5 years ago. So much shit involving Russia, hard to keep up. Hopefully in the near future we can actually get justice for the victims and their families. Most illuminating was Reddit's, particularly the subs, behavior during this. So many different RT articles upvoted, with people trying to muddy the waters by saying it was a Ukrainian false flag. People trying to paint the entire army as neo-Nazis, trying to argue that NATO was the one being aggressive because Ukrainians decided to remove their former pro-Russia government, arguing that this was a NATO false flag, trying to tie everything to Obama. That's cyber warfare. It's disgusting. It literally happens every day on Reddit. And it's never as obvious as you might think. A lot of times you can spot it when a discussion about a somewhat hot topic is staying relatively respectful, then a comment is posted by a relatively new account saying something like sure example #A is awesome and we all agree, but example is this, because of insert something intentionally offensive, but disguised as conversation. This cyber warfare is less about pushing a particular view, and more about creating division amongst everyone, and a lot of times it's so subtle you don't even notice it. When you read comment and it just feels off, or feels like it's trying to passively escalate the conversation, take a look at their post history. If there is a similar pattern in their comments, you might be dealing with a troll or bot account. Especially if their account is less than 2 years old. Be particularly aware if you agree with their initial comment. They are all about dividing us into teams. Edit. They also tend to comment apathetically during politic conversations about change. Watch out for naysayers that try to reinforce how useless it is to stand up for your beliefs. The plane was brought down with Russian military hardware. I don't understand how people can try and explain that part away. Some people are paid to do exactly that. Worse are the ones that aren't. I wonder what the actual paid shills think of those idiots. Hey Alexei, get a load of this Jaguar from Kansas. Looks like we can break and play StarCraft. I'm trying to read this in a Russian accent, but each time it's just a different British accent. Keep trying. One of those will be a Russian guy attempting a British accent. And another will be a British politician working with the Russians. Russia is known for deliberately leaking information to influence stories. The Dutch investigation showed it was Russian soldiers, not Ukrainian rebels, who shot down the plane. Even if it was rebels, they were funded and supplied by Moscow, so there is hardly a difference. I also doubt some random militia guy would know how to operate an AA missile. Probably actual Russian soldiers handling that. They are made for the dumbest people to operate them, so I would disagree to an extent. Lol. They were using the big ones, not the shoulder-launched ones. Yeah, I thought about what I said after I said it, and decided to keep my shameful view. This is Reddit. You are supposed to edit your original comment to make the reply look like an ass, not admit you're wrong in an honorable way, and let other people see your mistakes. Since when did people start being civil and reasonable here/s? Why admit you're wrong when you can accuse other people of being wrong instead? Rebels are Russian contractors. *THE plane was brought down by Russian rubles. Have we ever been given a motive as to why? If it was intentional, it seems like one of the stupidest decisions to have ever been made. It was a mistake. They thought it was an Ukraine army plane. I don't really know enough about the Ukrainian Air Force to have an informed opinion, but common sense leads me to think it would be really hard to confuse a commercial airliner for a military plane. Iran Air Flight 655 was a scheduled passenger flight from Tehran to Dubai via Bandar Abbas that was shot down on the 3rd of July 1988 by an SM-2 Mr. Surface-to-Air missile fired from Vincennes, a guided missile cruiser of the United States Navy. I remember Bush says I will never apologize for America after that. Damned scumbag. That's the day I fully realized how weak international diplomacy is. How can plane full of civilians be downed with little repercussions to the assailants? Nuclear war ain't worth it. That's not the only response. Sanctions and asset freezing hurt too. Which was done, and crashed the Russian economy. And pissed off a certain Russian so much he has since sought to install a favorable government in the USA instead, and has put multiple targets on the back of one American. Jesus Christ. I had no idea. That last paragraph about the nerve agent was pure gold. This guy's life must be the definition of paranoia in the dictionary. I couldn't imagine having to watch my back and literally everyone I know for the rest of my life, however long that may be. Kudos to you on the link by the way, and thank you. Time to kick out the Russian embassy, Russian envoys and officials and businessmen out of the country. Fuck off with those blyat gobshites. I would also require the USA to geo-block any communications from Russian IPs. That is a ridiculous idea with absolutely no historical precedence. When has the US ever blocked any foreign internet addresses? What would that even do, except disrupt commerce? I was thinking whitelist the trustworthy IPs, but I forgot about piracy, and in retrospect, I agree it's a terrible idea. Sorry, didn't mean to be so aggressive with my response, but I appreciate your retrospection. Nice, looking forward to hear more dirt on Surkov in the coming months. Sometimes I think Western secret services could be a good bit more effective if they were a tad less secretive and could inform public discussion better. They are there to find out what's going on and what can be used as leverage. They are tools of the politicians. If they just plainly laid out what Russia's been doing like it was evidence in a public trial, the public would be clamoring for war with a nuclear power that probably has all sorts of shit on the US that would cause chaos if they released it all at once, including a lot of compromise to keep a lot of the political elite disinterested in releasing information on Russia. It's all a game, and you could play too if you were born to the right family and had the right bank account. I think it's better not to play. We'll see.